Okay, guys, how's it going? Here we are Tuesday. It's a little afternoon, first of the month, and we're going to start with Bitcoin. Now, I've just got up the weekly chart here. We're going to look at both a bull and a bear count. I've got both. One's from James M, Sensei James M, and the other's from a member. We'll look, and so it kind of sets us up for both a bull and a bear count. And as we look here at the weekly, it's not obvious, right? It's certainly we can understand, how we're stalling here, but the question is, are we just about to roll over here and go down and test the golden zone? So that remains to be seen. It's certainly, you can just visually look at this chart and understand why we're stalling here. So let's see. So first up, I've got this is from member. What do I say this one? A Sharkatly. A Sharkatly. I think that's it. A Sharkatly. I'll try that. Okay, so let me get his. Here we go. All right, so A Sharkatly. So you sent me a chart here. I can't work with it, so double check. No, so I appreciate you posting, but look in this channel. At the top of the channel, there's a pinned post that will talk you through how to give me a chart, how to post a chart that I can work with. I know it's easy to get it wrong here, so that I just end up with an image rather than a chart I can work with. But so I can certainly see what you're looking at here. So you have two, you're kind of combining counts here. So we're all wrestling with this, right? Is it 1, 2, maybe a 3, 4? We got another leg up for a 5, or is it A, B, C here? So I see your thinking. So let's I guess let's stay with this. Well, shit, you're giving me both here. So what do I have here? Let's start with the bear count here. This is some really, really nice work from Sensei James M on the team here. Now, he's got multiple counts, but he's feeding us the bear count here just to, give us an alternative. And this is his, per his comments, this is his primary. So you'll note here he's got some speed fan work up here. So we got a golden zone here, and we got a 7.8. What do we got? 7.4 and 7.6 here, and then the same thing's coming down, and we get into this intersection, right? So you could almost interpret this the same way that I'm kind of showing this over here. Okay, well, an obvious point of. What would you see? Perhaps an obvious point for a pause in the market. We're at a high volume node here. We have this intersection here of these two technical components, and then an Elliott count here that it certainly would be easy to interpret this as needing another leg down. So let me just zoom in here to get the full gist of his. So the all-time high here, this is certainly a very valid count, that we're going to go A, B, C into an X, A, B, C, right? Just into a W, A, B, C into an X here. So, I'm going to raise that up and put it in green and get that up a bit here so we can just see it better. Okay, so WX now. We're working through an A, B. Are we done? Oh, you know what, James? I'm going to hide these just to free up some space here, clear up the chart a little bit so we can see this a little bit better. So the B here, right? This was making Bitcoin always a challenge. Is it 1, 2, 1, 2? Very, very difficult to have conviction into one count or the other. But his point is that it looks like this is we've got an easy look here as a contender, right? Is it an ABC or 1, 2, 3, a leading diag? What do we have here? Well, you can certainly see the case here for this being a 4, but that's a 4 relative. Let's put it in context, right? So he hasn't changed these colors here. So let me do that for him. So I get that in blue here, so we can, right? It's just a good habit, right? We're trying to say, do we have the right look, right? Do we, right? So we'd be coming down here. Okay, so this would certainly be a pretty big extent. I'm looking at his targets down here. So the 1, 2. Okay, it's not like we've never seen it before. This would not be your dream impulse here to be teeing up for a pivot. And it certainly looks like we're teed up for an extension in the 5th. So certainly a valid count, right? We can't discount it just because we want the market to go higher. So the key to his analysis here is that we're working through this diag here as a 1, right? That's kind of the key to it, which very much has the right fit, or the right look, I should say. So, right, extension of the 1, then we get a little contracting. Now, more typically you'd find that as an ending rather than a starting, but it's a valid contender for a 1 per his blue here. So 1, A, B, C into the 2. So while this is certainly open to interpretation, and it's a big question mark, if we have one more kick up here, would that change his count? Well, I think not, right? I mean, you can just look at it. So we're going to need a lot more to happen. Oh shit! This could be 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could go golden. Oh well, shit, we could, right? As long as we stay above that pivot. But well, I think if we start to rally here, this is going to be. Well, I catch myself saying that. Look how close we came down here to overlapping, right? We could go that high here. If this is going to be a 1, 2, 3, and that's a 4, and this is 1, 2, right? Are we going to finish with an impulse? Well, even up here, right? I mean, we go right up to that tick, 1, 2. Right? I mean, who thought this was 1, 2? Well, I shouldn't. We don't know that it's 1, 2, but it's a contender in the bull count. This would have to be 1, 2. Now we do have a couple of problems with that. Well, problem, maybe the wrong word here. We have some disparity between the futures market and the spot market here. So if we looked at the CMA futures, and an alert member mentioned this throughout the course of the week after Friday's video here, that we had this. There's an overlap. So this oh shit, which one is it? I think it's this wick here, right? Comes down and takes out that low. So kind of creates a monkey in the wrench here in terms of, again, that very strong conviction as to what are we doing here. Well, this is a count we gotta pay attention to. So how do we invalidate this count? Well, we need this pivot to be broken with conviction. So you'd be thinking down here, one. I'll show you a way we can get here. This needs to be a 3, 4, 5, right? Now, even then, again, can we break the golden zone? If we can break the golden zone, this is going to start to look a little bit better. But here we've got very clear, it's like in your face, right? There's a golden zone we're going to have to deal with. Now, do we have it? Well, per his count, I mean, we could be done right here, right? This could be in. Now, of course, we want to. I'm just going to hide that, right? We know that we've looked at that many times. We know that's a golden zone. So if we pull here, well, if this is the one, what did we just do? Right? You see the problem we have here, right? It's golden zone, right? So you know algos are on the short side. Now, when I say that does not guarantee that we're going down here to get these targets, right? That's never what that means. It just means we can identify where the algo is active, right? And it's not too hard, right? Major pivots, where would we anticipate it to be active, right? And this is, if you think that's random, that we're going in the golden zone back to back, I need you to rethink that, right? It's just, if you've seen more than 5 of my videos, you can't think that, right? We don't have to have that conversation. Okay, so this is clearly what's fighting us here. Well, I should say fighting bulls, right? Depending on how you're positioned in the market, right? If you're a bear, well, Jesus, what a back-to-back beautiful entries. And while you don't know the outcome here, right? We don't know the outcome, but it's what's the important piece of this? The risk reward of that trade. So right or wrong. Of course, we all want to be right, but if you were wrong here, at least you're not putting yourself in a position where you're going to get bent over hard, right? That risk reward is, what we got there, 8 to 1. You could damn near just ignore everything to the left, right? And just focus on money management here. Oh, do I have a contender here? Is this a pattern I recognize? You don't need to be using Elliott Wave here. You could be using, shit, we could keep it drop dead simple. Oh, there's some sort of congestion here, consolidation. Oh, we're coming right back up to that consolidation. Oh, reasonable spot for the market to potentially stall. You wouldn't even necessarily even need to know about this algo and that golden zone sitting there. Do you need to know that? Fuck, put on a 200 moving average here. The point I'm trying to emphasize is not to discount all of this good work here, right? That's what gives you the conviction to take the trade. But it's the money management is the key to the whole thing. Because, see, once you set this up, you just relax. It doesn't become like, oh, fuck, God, I really hope this one goes. Because, okay, look, the damage here is modest. You guys have heard me say this 1,000 times, right? That's a jab, right? If you're going to get in the ring, you're going to get hit. You can't come, oh, I'm going to get into the trading, and I'm never going to get stopped out, right? That's my plan. Right, that's silly, right? So just focus on risk reward. The TA, as I will often say, the TA, this is the fun part. Can you solve the puzzle? Right now, managing the trade, because so here's what the inexperience does. I hit the POC. Oh, I better take that. I better take it. Okay, well that's it. Take the whole thing out. Maybe not, right? So maybe that's an area to take some. It's always good to bank some profit. If you've got a winner, put some in your pocket. What would you be anticipating here? Oh shit, well, may bump into a little support here. Oh, but if this is a 2, you're kind of expecting the kickback because we're looking. If that's a 2, we're looking for an impulse. So maybe you bank a little bit here, and I don't know that it's going to stop there, but that's a reasonable location here, just visible range. Okay, I got a whole lot of buying here, so very reasonable to anticipate. Oh, look, we got a big fair value gap here. Whoever caught this, maybe they're going to defend here, or maybe they're unfilled orders, right? But if that starts to go, what? Right? What are you thinking? Oh, 1, 2. So wouldn't that be potentially the place to add to this trade? Right? Can I do that without changing the dynamics here? I mean, let's take it. Can I do that? Oh, you might give that a little bit more room on the add, but remember, you've already banked. You've already banked some profit. Now, once you're going 1, 2 here, you don't have to worry about anything other than do we hold that pivot? We know it's technical. We know an algo is there. So I can add here. So I bank a little bit here. Here's the little kickback in the 2. Ideally, it takes a 3, so you have a little more conviction in it. Now, is it going to be right there? Fuck, I don't know. But again, that's not what matters. This is what matters. Really, really, really. You could take that trade, and if your risk control is tight, then you just don't stress. But if you're like, okay, I really need this one to go. So I'm going to give this lots of room here. I don't want to be stopped out, so I'm going to give this lots of room. And that is a very common thing. They may not look at it this way. They may not really look at what they're doing to themselves. But so what would they next do? Oh, well, I can't do that, right? Obviously, I got to have at least 1-to-1. So let's assume we're going to go. Oh, we're going to go down to 12K. Now, it's just the wrong way to approach the market, in my opinion, right? Why give yourself that? Why do that to yourself? There's just, I didn't want to get stopped out. God, if I had $1 for every DM email that I've received from traders is like, well, I didn't want to get stopped out, so I gave it a lot of room, and now I'm a hodler or blew up my account. These are self-inflicted wounds. Never, ever, ever a reason to do that. Never. Right. So what do I got here? Now I've got just here. I got 8.9 to 1. A little bit better. See, if you will just do it this way and focus not on I'm going to be right. God damn it, I'm not going to get stopped out. And you just focus on the impact here. If you get stopped out, okay, so then you just reevaluate. Does that change the count? Well, if we take out this pivot here, if we go on up here, yeah, that changes the count. Do you want to keep fighting for that short? Right? Aren't you glad, right? If that happens, you didn't do something silly like that. Right? Wouldn't you rather just take a whole bunch of jabs rather than a knockout blow to the chin? Right? Because that's what that is. That knocks you out, right? The time to recover from that, especially if you traded with leverage, going to be painful, right? Just there's no need to do it to yourself. Okay, so we focus here. Money management, always, right? Preservation of capital. Number 1 priority for every trader. Right, every successful trader, right? What's the name of the game is stay in the game. Okay, so 1, 2, right? That's what you'd be thinking about here. So James has got to. This is hard to argue with the TA here. What has to happen for this to change? Right, we got to have a. Oh shit! Can I do it? We got to. I can't. We got to have another kick here, and we got to take out some of this resistance, right? We've got to break algos, right? That's what's holding us back here, right? You could say it's the Fed, it's some bullshit. It's these algos here, right? So 1, 2, I got to break here. I got to get one of these guys to break, right? So then, because all that means is now, right? There is nobody sitting here going, boy, I really want Bitcoin to go up. There's just a piece of software sitting there. Oh, if I get that, well, we're going to do that. Right? I'm going to go long here. Again, doesn't mean it's guaranteed to get there. So if you're doing that, right, same process all over again. Same thing. Oh, maybe I can get my third. Well, am I going to put my stop at the low, at the absolute low here? It's more than I would take. Why would you, why if you think it's going to be a 2, why are you doing that? Even that's too much. If it's going to be a 2, right, I'd be right here. Right here, I got that nice POC. Oh, I don't think you need to get right. So if it's going to come down here, remember, every single pivot is always a target. Always, every pivot, right? Why? There's liquidity there, right? That's what they're after. Right? It's like they're working against you. You don't think of it that way. Traders, right? The people who are providing liquidity with you, right? Every pivot's a target, right? That's where liquidity is. And for the big fish, the whales, call them what you will, institutions, bank, hedge funds, call them what you will. I just like to call them whales. They need liquidity, right, to get into the size, right? So that's why they use these pivots, right? And then the other thing they do is they use them as it's bait, right, for breakout traders, right? Come on, nibble at it, come on. I was saying this morning in the S&P, right, in the stock indexes, right? As soon as we get close, right, that's chum in the water, right? Come on, breakout traders, come on, take it. Come on, you want a bite of that. You know it's going to go, right? Phew. Happens every day. I don't know, hundreds of thousands of times, right? Vast majority of breakouts always fail, right? But one gets through, and that's what keeps them doing it, right? It's unbelievably consistent, right? Thankfully, right? It's not that they're dumb, it's just they're inexperienced. They don't recognize that this is a target, right? That's a target, that's a target, that's a target, all targets, right? Liquidity targets. All right, so we got a pretty good read here on the bear count, right? So James giving us that bear count. Now, I'm already 16 in here. Ooh, a little chatty today. Okay, let's go. So having identified here a very real possibility, right? So hedge accordingly here. This is a very real possibility. So if we come back here, what are we talking about? Right, that this is ultimately just not done yet. So perhaps 1, 2, oh, fuck. Oh, how did he do it? We had another 2 in there. So we've gone 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're in the 1 is in, the 2 is in, we're going 3, 4, 5, right? So golden zone becomes a potential target. And then ultimately it's, how would we do it? We do it WXY, right? Comes through. So the 1, shit, James, I can't remember now. You're doing it as 1, let me pull back here a second. You're doing it as a 1. Yeah, 1, working on the 2. Working on the 2 from the COVID low. Right, we shall see here. Okay, so for those of you that are on the bull side, let's see if we can work out a count here. So this, this is the count that I think we can look at as the alternative here. The whole thing is a bit funky because of this section right here. So I kind of was wrestling with this last Friday on the Bitcoin video. Okay, what do we do with this? All right, we got a real problem here because what your eye wants to do this, right? You're thinking, oh, 1, oh, look at that perfect 3. Oh, 3, 4. Ooh. Challenging in here, right? It's just not that clear. It's because of this. This is your monkey in the wrench here. I got an A, I got a B, and I got a C. What am I doing with that? You can't go 1, 2, right? I considered 1, 2, 1, 2, but I think I like this fit better because the wave relationships get stretched too far. So I do think the count here that's as reasonable as any I've seen here is to go 1, A, B, C into a W, A, B, C into an X, and then we're going to finish with a triangle here into the Y. So this becomes our 2. So the count here for the bulls is 1, 2. Now, is that the 3? 3, 4, 5. Well, it looks like there's a 5 here. We can't say for sure. The 1, 2 in here is it's a bit rough in there. Shit, I had to go to a 15-minute to dig it out of there. I mean, it's skinny on the 2. 1, 2, barely. 3, 4. You can't. This does finish. You do get a nice finish here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get you done there. Let's get you down. Let's go mini school. Right, we got to get that done over here. So we can take that up a degree. Right, so we can get a 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, doesn't overlap the 1. So I've got a little kicker here that finishes, but the 1, 2, it's brutal. Is it? You're kind of making do with what's there. Nice finish here. Same thing. Where's your 2? I'm on a 15. They're mighty skinny on the 2s. The 4s and the 5s all pretty clear. What do we got here? Well, now we're getting into a lot of the slop chop here. So let's go back a little bit. and defunct that. Okay, so is this a 1? God, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That could be an A there. You may have an A coming out of this. A. Okay, right. Is that a B? Well, kind of looks like there need to be one more there. So you'd be looking for this to perhaps, right? We kind of look here. Okay, if I can get a B here, well, now I'm going to feel a little bit better. Now look what I'm selling into. Look at all the supply zones up there, right? This is Sonar Labs giving me order blocks here and supply zones here. So that's a big wall of supply. So that wouldn't be terribly surprising to come out of that. All you're doing is trying to get, if this is the 5, if that's all the 5 we're going to get, then we'll 1, 2. Right? So shit, not too hard to progress from here. Oh, it's kind of funny when I do that. I get, here, we'll do it this way. So I get something like that. So can we get a 2 here, right? Is A, B, C into a 2? Well, but sure does look like, boy, that would make a lot of sense. Here we look into all that structure. A, B, C coming down for the 2. Right, bulls. I tell you the truth, I'd rather see this get a little higher, but right now that's what we have to work with. So thus the alert here. See if indeed we can break through some of this. The 4 here is a little iffy, but I don't want to go yet to a B, maybe a C coming down here, because right now it looks like that 5 is in, which is. Oh shit! I mean, this could be 3, 4, and this could be 1, 2, right? We're going to need to kick here pretty soon, right? This has got to come out of here to do something like this for us to be reconsidering that 5. But right now, it's hard to argue with the bear count, right? So we need a kick here to get, I think, a little bit more conviction that we've got a good pivot. Now, with all of that said, here in this count, I think we can say it's valid, right? So what's interesting. Look, this congestion zone that we had here, look how that mismatched here, right? You may recall what a cluster F that was. Well, look how it repeats itself right over here, another triangle. I think that's what we ended up with here, is that this had to be some sort of a triangle. A, B, C, W, X, Y, right? So it's very similar solution. W, X, Y into the B. Right now we go the same thing, right? Same thing over here. All right, is that what we're dealing with? A, B, C, W, X into the Y for the 2, right? Not the B, right? On the other side was the B. I know, well, shit, this could still be the B, right? If we're going to come down, then maybe this is A, B, C, right? So A, rather than the 1, it would be an A. It would be a B, and we'd be up in the C, right? So we'd be expecting the whole thing to start coming down. Not ready to go there yet. No need to just yet. But now let's go back to the fly in the ointment, and that would be the CME, which, oh shit, where are you here? That's his work. I think it's over here. So bear with me a sec here, because I had a member spot this, right? So this actually is quite good technically. Now, shit, I got a few other things on here. Just in preparation for later in the week for some training I was going to do. So let me, oh shit, here, let's hide some of this. So otherwise I'll just confuse you here. Okay. Oh, let's see. What have I got? I got Sonar's volume control. All right. Okay. So we'll take a fresh look here. Okay. This is the reality of having multiple exchanges, right? Where we don't have an agreed to centralized price, right? Where we know, right, where the price is. So here's the low that in Bitcoin spot, right? This holds as the low, but here's the CME. Now you can interpret this and say, well, of course, yeah, they're trading with leverage, and you're always going to have a little bit more of an extreme in the futures market. But I'll be damned, right? I mean, it's not like you can say, oh, well, I'm just going to ignore that. It means you got to change the count, right? You start your count in the futures from a different pivot. Well, how the hell, right? So I'm going to count as a 1, 2 in spot, but over in the futures, I'm just in my first 1, 2. I wish there was a better solution for that. There's no way around it other than the more conservative approach is to say, well, if it broke anywhere, a break's a break. Period, right? Futures or not, it broke, right? So we can't lean in. Well, maybe you say it this way. We're not going to lean in heavily to the idea that the pivot is in, right? Over in spot, that this is, oh fuck, what do we do here? That we did in spot, we were thinking 1, 2, right? 1, 0, 2, right? Because it was spared the overlap. Here, you cannot do that in the futures market, right? It's just not an option. Now, that said, what a beautiful golden corner comes out of here, right? So swing, retrace, yet again. Note here, not the 618 golden zone. So what do we get here? Golden corner pocket, right? There's your 80%. Now, what's interesting here is that if we go to original recipe, right, where this angle is too steep, right? Can we get there? Oh, not likely, right? How would that happen, right? You can't get there. Oh, shit, I shouldn't say that. I guess we could. We could get there. You could get there, right? It's going to take a lot of time, so I wouldn't. Here's what I would not do. Forget about this, right? I'd just hide it, because that angle is pretty steep, right? If we're pinging this later on, high class problem. Let's hope that's the case. But you'll note here the perfect tag, right? Just beautiful. Now, if I go to shift, look at that, right? Why do you go to shift, right? Shift is for corrections, so you can kind of just not too hard, right, to get that labeled. Is that ABC? All right, here's the low, so that's corrective. Oh, this changes the whole bloody thing. Well, I'm not ready to go here just yet. Although this looks like A, B, C. It looks like we're working on a triangle here. So there could be more complexity here, but it's just, it's no way around it, right? Let's not ignore it. Let's just acknowledge it. Okay, 1, 2. Looks like you could have 1, 2 here. 1, 2, 3. Looks like you've got a contender. It's kind of the same thing. You've got a contender for a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. Is this 4? The 4 have more to go. You got a contender here for a 4, right? So you could still do that. A, B, C. Right? There's no, Bitcoin is rarely just drop dead simple, but there are moments where you get very clear setups. I mean, really here, you got your 80% faster than you wanted it. Right? If you were thinking about the corner pocket, right? That's original, right? We didn't get there. Oh, pardon me. So I'm saying that incorrectly. Pardon me. Right? So here you've got your 80%. You went up to the right edge here for the golden corner. Oh, come here. We'd want. Pardon me. Was incorrect in saying it that way. So we got our algo tag, but we did not get our median line hit. Other than if you go to mod or to shift, right? So let's try modified. Same difference, right? You're going to get it, but these are more inclined, more commonly. It's not like we never see them, but more inclined to find this in a correction. So this, if we can get out of here and get that, God damn it, if we can get that last little kick up here, well, then you're going to maybe revisit this. But you'll note here, it'd still be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So there's no easy solution. What would help over here? Well, it's same as before, right? Well, there's a good sign, right? That's a close above. Now if we can keep going. That is a close, not a wick, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, nope, it's all wicks, right? So we don't officially, right? We don't have a close on the other side of the 65. What we've got there. Interesting. Revisit. We shall see. I don't think it's time to take any drastic moves here in Bitcoin just yet, but it's definitely challenging. Don't feel like you have to do something, right? Let a little clarity here. All right, I got to, holy shit. Just did a Bitcoin video. Oh, fuck. Should I stop this? How am I doing? 28? Oh, maybe I'll do this as 2 videos. I think this is kind of long here. So let's do that. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to pause this. We'll make this Bitcoin only, and then I'll come back at this, and we'll look at the rest of the stuff here. So we have 2 vids. I got a little chatty here. Okay, we'll stop here, and then I'll just post them as 2 different vids.